Well, hello. Today is Friday, February the 28th, and we had a very busy day up on the Hill, kind of similar to yesterday. We didn't have any committee meetings in the afternoon, which allowed the legislators to really hunker down for a full 5 hours of floor debate. So let's jump right into it. One of the most anticipated bills that I've been looking out to see how it was going to be received was HB 271. And this was the regulation of firearms is granted to the state of Utah, and that preempts any and all local authorities. Now, what does that really mean in practice? Well, what it means is we do have little pockets across our state which are becoming a little more liberal, wanting to control gun sales and gun opportunities and gun ownership, even whether that is a firearm, a weapon, ammunition, you name it. Well, what this bill does, HB 271, did exactly this. Let's just read from it, lines 216 to 223, where it says, except as specifically provided by state law, citizens of the United States or a lawfully admitted alien shall not be, a local authority or state agency may not prohibit an individual from owning, possessing, purchasing, selling, transferring, transporting, or keeping any firearm, ammunition, or firearm accessory at the individual's place of residence, property, business, or in any vehicle lawfully in the individual's possession or lawfully under the individual's control, or require the individual to have a permit or license to purchase, own, possess, transport, or keep a firearm, ammunition, or firearm accessory. Well, there it is. It spells out very clearly that we cannot start to have locales like Salt Lake City proper that would try to enact a law and usurp the authority granted by the state constitution to the state of Utah. So a great bill. It was a contested bill. And as you can well imagine, out of the 15 individuals that voted against this, they were all Democrats. So let that one sink in for a second. The other thing I wanted to jump into really quick is on Monday, 8 a.m., the bill that we talked about just the other day, that being HB 132, the Kim Coleman bill about higher education student speech rights, will be heard in the Senate Education Committee. It's going to need your help. It made it through the House last year. It just barely made it through this year. If it's going to get through the Senate, it will need our help as a populace to rise up and let people know your thoughts on the bill. The link is down below. Follow that link. It'll take you to the committees and show you everybody's agenda for both Monday and Tuesday of next week. But you can also click on it and gain access to the committee and then get the members of the committee so that you can communicate with all those who will be ruling on the committee. Even better if you're able to be up on the Hill at 8 a.m., get over there into the Senate Education meeting and make sure to allow your voice to be heard. So like I mentioned, we had 37 bills up on the Hill today, and we had more opposed than we have ever had. We had 15 that were opposed, 7 of which were opposed with over 10 votes. So let's run through those really quick and take a look at them. We had HB 88. This one was a school water testing requirements. Sounds pretty simple. However, it was going to require $2 million in appropriations every 5 years to assist the schools in doing this $25 to $40 test. Now, we all know that the dangers of lead, copper, other things in the water, this did meet with a lot of opposition. We had HCR 19, which was the concurrent resolution opposing the introduction of wolves, had 13 opposed. The rationale behind this was the conservationists in Utah have said, hey, if we introduce wolves here, what could happen is we'll have the Rocky Mountain wolf, the wolves from down south, or the Mexican wolf. They may breed, and that could create some issues for an endangered species. We had HB 59. This was a tax credit for alternative fuel, very heavy vehicles, that was opposed by 24. We had HB 206. Very strange bill in the regard that it was circled and uncircled and circled and uncircled. And it seemed like Representative Pitcher may never have gotten this bill out before us. Let's also add that Representative Pitcher is a deputy district attorney. Again, I would love it if these people would start recusing themselves from these bills and legislation that they themselves directly benefit from. Be that as it may, it finally came before us. Everyone was clapping. Even the Speaker of the House said, man, I've been up here for thousands of bills. I've never heard anybody clap for a bill that got uncircled. Don't know what that was about. But three things that this bill was going to do. Number one, the judge would have to apply the least pre-trial requirements, looking more specifically at how can we get people released pending the trial, not hurting people while they're out. Create some funding for the pretrial release, and it was going to do this on forfeited bonds. So those individuals who had jumped or whatever had happened in those forfeited bonds, and 15% was going here, 25% there. And then it also wanted to change the rules on bond forfeiture. That one received 15 negative votes. We had HB 108, medical specialist in public school. Interesting bill here. 29 of our good legislators opposed it. What this was doing is it was actually going to try to give local control back. So it's an LEA, local education agency, would be able to adopt a separate pay and a separate paid schedule for a medical specialist to be on site. 29 didn't like that. We had HB 271 we talked about for a moment, and HB 269, which was a tax credit amendment on hydrogen electrolysis systems. So we have wind, we have other things that offer a tax credit. This good representative wanted to make sure that hydrogen electrolysis was part of it. 27 people opposed it. We had 16 new number bills. Again, I don't know what's going on online, but I cannot see the new requests. It's still pending at 0. It looks like it's broken. Out of those new bills, two that came up that are very troubling to me. The first one, a Bramble bill, Senate Bill 218, and this is a facial recognition bill. Let's read right from it. Line 12 and 13 states it will provide that the Department of Public Safety is the only government entity in the state authorized to use facial recognition system. Well, that means they'll be deploying the system. And once the system is deployed, you know what these guys love to do? They love to share that technology and get it out there. Again, remember, ladies and gentlemen, we have a Bill of Rights. We have the right to a speedy trial. We have the right to be presumed innocent. And we have a right also to not testify against ourselves. And all of this with the facial recognition, I don't like it. SCR 12, another one that's very strange. It's concurrent resolution concerning climate action. Now, for all that we hear and everything that's going back and forth about, the myths about climate change have all been settled, you may want to jump on Google and just do yourself a favor and get educated about it and recognize that there are petitions upon petitions with thousands and thousands of very well-respected scientists that are simply stating the jury is not out with what's going on with the Earth's climate, and it may or may not be based on what we think or what we are claiming. This bill, by Senator Cullimore goes against that, and lines 13 through 20 explain that it recognizes the risk to the state, its economy, its citizens of standing by while global carbon emissions grow unchecked. Again, the data is so one-sided on this that you really have to sit back and look at it and try to understand how our planet goes through a cyclical cycle. Is it really the carbon emissions that are causing it? What's going on? Again, look into this one, ladies and gentlemen. It's a bill that just got proposed, which is going to affect the state. Now, pardon me, it's a resolution, not a bill. So it's basically saying, we feel strongly about this. Let's get behind it. So there you have it. Busy day. The other thing I wanted to mention is kind of an interesting thing. We have now heard 50% of the bills that we heard last year. So think about that one for a second. We've been up there now for 4 weeks debating bills. And at this point, let me get my numbers up here in just a moment. All right, this far, we have 395 bills that have been brought up or heard in one form or another on the House floor. And last year, we heard 793. 50% of the way there, 2 weeks to go. Hang on to your socks, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you as always. Have a great weekend, and we'll check in with you on Monday.